August the 5th, 1945. They called me a traitor only because I cared enough to know what they would do to my little boy once everyone had been spoken for. I was alone when he was born from my head and raised his clarion cry of war to the sky. Uranus and Mother Gaia trembled to hear. I was alone when they sent men from the Alphabet Agency who bared their teeth and told me, "You will not lay a hand on the boy. You will not do anything to him." Now we know that you fear God because you have not withheld from us your son, your only son. It is true, we gave everything to the war effort. And walking down any main street, I saw the blood and the sweat running in rivulets. Rosie the Riveter, gold stars, burning holes in widowed windows. And today there exist in temples, book chests which we ourselves have seen. And when these temples were plundered, we are told they were emptied by our own men in our own time. It is true. I cried when they salted my land and destroyed my house, but why should I look back? I heard ancient voices struggling against a world which constantly threatened to crush them, guiding me to the edge of town before I gave up. So when I reached the King's Highway, I started walking and I never stopped, and 1,000 years fell before me as I flew past the deceit of the missionaries and the despair of the strip malls. Taillights raced away from me in streaks, carrying hopes and dreams with them all routes to the sound of their own panic breaths before they disappeared. That day, I was alone with thousands of flowers blooming in avenues running both sides of the road to forever, wherever bicyclists and the innocent had been mowed down. But when I crossed the dunes to see the candles that the oil derricks hold just above the ocean, I found you on the shoreline, with the wind blowing past your legs the same way it moves past the Elysian fields, the same way it whispers to the saints. And you look so beautiful, it went beyond physics and desert country. For just one whole minute, you made me forget I could reach out and change the world. November 26th, 1945. After the subduction of the barely legal centuries, we were free to make mountains out of molehills. For as Greeley said, "Go west," but he meant up. And America popped a star-spangled boner at the thought of homogenizing morality, progress, great intangible aspirations, and skyscrapers, building the vast phallic frontier. And no man was too unimportant to take up, no case too daunting to take on. Justice. That blind bucking bronco was now as relatively brilliant as Einstein in his speed of light, so they put her in the cultural pantheon for the benefit of oohs and ahs and the indoctrination of little children on school field trips. And as the latest proceedings unfolded, I was joined in the jury box by a tumbleweed from Los Alamos, a palm tree from the Bikini Atoll, a cherry blossom from Japan, and Henry Fonda's steaming corpse. They were cross-examining an ideology, you know, like one of those formalities that don't expect any real answers, like when the cashier asks you how you're doing. And then I remember the prosecutor said he would show his fear in a handful of dust. To be in Nagasaki that August was to see the realization of the secret cause of death, the dead and the dying joined in nuclear harakiri, lying on their knees in their own pride, laid low by excess, made examples of, small benchmarks for the future to measure its missiles against. The surrender on that aircraft carrier was understanding nothing could ever happen, know and grow back home for a long, long time. And I floated across the land in the still air, searching for something louder than the cemeteries. Then I heard that old saraband the wind mowed on the mead, a faint ticking that signaled life's end radiating from the ground, old men's hearts, and midnight. Telegraphy by means of electric light, interrupted conversations, lost messages, trans-Pacific pain and sorrow, transitively specific, the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. February the 1st, 1961. So here's to that Army major who played a cowboy in that film. But for lack of real tombstones in Hollywood, I heard a eulogy for its dead, who was cowboys everywhere before they were forced to change. So here's to that saguaro, sarsaparilla, son of a bitch, who wears the past on his face, hides in it, and on his legs he just wants something to believe in. Who knew that progress makes dreams of our paths and wires, and talking solitude and exile. He left the desert with a bombshell in his arms, following the second star to the right, which wrinkles no, twinkles no, Neverland, to wit, its home.